Next example, which is based on the finding present value from the given annuity. Finding present value from the given annuity. This example is based on this topic. So to know how much money should be invested to get that fixed amount at the end of the every year. At the end of the every year for some fixed period in the years. So also we have to find that present value from that given annuity. So annuity A is fixed amount earned at the end of the every year. P is the present value invested to get annuity A at the end of the each year for n years with interest rate I compounded yearly. Present value can be calculated as like this. Present value can be calculated P is equal to A into 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 divided by I into 1 plus I raised to n. So this is the formula to find out the present value from that particular given annuity. So here this example is given as a Pratap is looking forward to retire in 2012. He wants to invest some money so that he can earn rupees 20,000 per year for the next 10 years. If rate of the interest is 10% compound annually, what is the amount of that current investment? So how much value we can invest so that we can get a annuity, at each year having rupees 20,000. So here that annuity is given for the next 10 years, which is required by the Pratap. So that value should be 20,000. So how much he should invest? That value P. So and that annuity he required for the 10 years. Annuity he required 10 years and with the interest rate 10% compounded interest, and how much he should invest to get this annuity. So now here we draw this cash flow diagram. We draw here cash flow diagram. So 0 to 10 years. Time period is 0 to 10 years, and each year he requires some annuity. At each year he requires some annuity, and how much he should invest. How much he should invest initially so that he will get at a fixed amount of annuity at each year. So this formula we used here. P is equal to A into 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 divided by I into 1 plus I raised to n. So this annuity is now 20,000. Annuity is now 20,000, and it required for the 10 years. It required for n is equal to 10 years with compound interest 10%, and this is P by A. This is P by E. So this bracket is we represented here as a P by E. So this 20,000 into this 6.145, it becomes now this much of amount. So this much of amount we should invest so that we can get a sure amount after for 10 years at interval of the 1 year. So this is a this example is based on the find out that particular amount invested so that we can get a annuity at each year for a particular period of time. So these examples are based on the each term, based on the particular term, having based on that particular term, such as a given annuity and of future worth analysis, etc. So next example is based on the future worth analysis. This example is based on the annuity, finding present value for the given annuity. Now this example is based on the future worth analysis. The future worth is nothing but the amount of money with interest for a fixed period in the future. A particular amount of money with interest in the future for a fixed period of time. This future value can be found for a present investment as well as for uniform series payments. For present investment or for uniform series payments, we can find out this future worth value. And now this we can find out like this. Now if amount P is invested at present and with interest rate I, which are per year, this amount now will grow in the future, and that amount particularly grow, which we can calculate as P plus Pi is equal to P into 1 plus I by the end of the one period. So at the second period again it will increase. At the second period this amount will again increase as a P into 1 plus I into 1 plus I, like that. So this becomes now P into 1 plus I square, and so on and so on. So these amounts are increased per year by factor 1 plus I, by factor P into 1 plus I, P into 1 plus I, each every year, for every year. So total amount we can get at the future at particular period of time n, with some interest rate I and with some investment P, that have formula like this. F is equal to, that have formula like this, that future amount we will get F is equal to P into 1 plus I raised to n. So how much future amount we will get by investing value some P with interest rate I at particular rate n, that we can get by this formula, which is called as a future worth analysis, at particular period of time how much value we will get after some years. So this present investment P is given as a 2000, and that interest rate is given as 8% compounded yearly. So here this example is given. You are currently investing your money in the bank account, which has a nominal annual rate of 8% compounded annually. If you invested 2000 today, how much you will get after 20 years? If that interest rate is 8% compounded, and if you invested 2000 today, how much you will get 20 years? So in future, after 20 years, how much value you get for this much of investment 2000 with some interest at 8% compounded. So this is future worth analysis. So for future, in this future worth analysis, this is the total value after 20 years with some investment P, with some I rate, and with for a period of the n. So we put here that values. P is equal to 2000. Now here put as a 1 plus I value is 8%. In raised to the n is 20. So if you simplify this, you will get this much of amount, 9322. So this example is based on the future worth analysis. Each example is based on the some term which represent a meaning, for that particular term. Now this 8 is also based on this. This 8 is also based on this future worth analysis. But here, this is previously, in this previous example, we deposit some amount, or for the principal amount, we deposited once. We deposited once. But if you invest for a uniform series, how much that the future worth? How much will be that future worth? That will be calculated. Worth we can calculate it when that principal amount is investment once, or that principal amount is investment uniformly. uniformly. So this example is given, and this example is based on the uniformly investment. So here this example is given as a, this Rajesh is preparing to buy a vacation home 5 years from now. So the home will cost of rupees of this 10 lakh, cost of rupees of 10 lakh at that time. He want to make 3 deposit at the interest rate of 12% in the following ways. So he deposited in 3 slots, so that he will get the amount of 10 lakh after 5 years. After the amount of 10 lakh after 5 years. So this is also future worth analysis term, or that particular terminology that we discussed here. Which Rajesh need to invest in year three to ensure that he has the necessary fund to buy that particular home at the end of the year of 5. At the end of the year of 5. So in this example, future value at the end of fifth year is this much. Is this much 10 lakh. This much 10 lakh. So Rajesh deposit. So Rajesh deposit this 1,20,000 at the beginning of first year, 1,50,000 at the end of the second year, and X amount at the third year, X amount of the third. Now we want to find what will be that X amount. What will be the X amount to get 10 lakh at the end of the fifth year. So this is the cash flow diagram. Now this is the cash flow diagram. So this is the cash flow diagram. At the fifth year, at the end of the fifth year, how much future worth we want? That value is nothing but a 10 lakh. Here given it is a 10 lakh, and he invested initially 1,20,000. After for second year he invested 1,50,000, and for third year how much he should invest so that he will get at fifth year 10 lakh thousand. At fifth year 10 lakh. After at fifth year how much we will get? 10 lakh. So this value, this future value of rupees 1,20,000, 1,50,000 and X should be equal to rupees this much. This means 10 lakh. 10 lakh. So how you can calculate this? How you can calculate this? Now this is calculated like this: 1,20,000 into F by P, 12% 5 with interest at 12% for 5 years, plus 1,50,000 F by P 12% for 3 years. So 1,50,000 it is invested for 3 years. First year, second year, third year. Now for 1,20,000 it is invested for all 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And third amount is invested for 2 years. 1 and 2. So it is a by P 12% with the interest rate is same for all the slots. So 12% interest rate, and for the year 2 for this amount of X. So this much, how much is this much value? Future worth and worth value is 10 lakh. It is a 10 lakh. So after simplification of this, we will get that value is this much. That value is this much. So 4,60,773 rupees and 52 paisa. That much amount he should invest at period of third year. So that he will get future amount of 10 lakh. So this example is based on that uniform investment. This example is based on that investment at particular time, at different times. This example is based on that investment at only once. Investment done only once, and after some future period, he will get some future amount. It is a future worth analysis. It is called a future worth analysis. These examples are based on this formula. This formula or this term. These examples are based on this example. Now this ninth example is based on the find out the future value from given annuity. Future value from given annuity. So this is the this example is based on the how much value you should invest to get that particular amount at the future, at that particular amount that in the future. Now, so this example is based on the how much find out the future value from a particular given annuity. So if annuity A is invested at high interest rate per period at the end of each period for n number of period, the amount will grow to the future amount of a into 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 plus a into 1 plus I raised to n minus 2 plus a into 1 plus I plus a, like that. So suppose a amount is invested with some percent rate I for a particular at per period of time for a particular time slot n per particular time slot n. So how much that value, how much that amount will grow to the future amount at particular year n, that value is nothing but the that future that nothing but a future value when you invested a particular amount yearly, and from that particular given annuity, So this annuity is invested. With some interest rate I. So here this annual fees of student amount rupees 50,000 for over 20 years of his or his education. Find the total fees the student would pay at the end of 20 years if the interest rate is 8% compound annually. So here fee amount is 50,000. For 20 years. Fees amount is 50,000 for 20 years. And how much student should pay at the end of the 20 years? At the end of the 20 years at interest rate of the 8% compounded annually. So this example is somewhat like that EMI. Example. So in this example, at each year that student should pay 50,000. And this 50,000 add up to the year 20 for 20 year of span. They hit at each year he should pay 50,000. So how much? How much total amount of 20 up at 20 years at end of the 20 years? How much the total amount he should pay with some interest rate 8% compounded? That calculation is nothing but the future value. Finding that future value from given annuity. So for each slot for this first year, second year, third year, he pay some money, and if suppose we consider for 20 years of span with some interest at 8%, how much will be the total money? So this example is somewhat like that EMI, consideration of that EMI for a particular loan. So this is now this amount A is nothing but this annuity is nothing but 50,000 for each year, for first, second, third up to the 20 years. That amount annuity A is the same. Here consider as the same 50,000 with some interest rate I 8%, and for the year n. For the year n is equal to 20 years. So we have to find out how much that value, total value at the end of the 20 years. This is cash flow diagram. This diagram is known as cash flow diagram. First year, second year, third year, up to the 20 years. So here we are interested to find out this EF value, total value EF at the after 20 years. So this EF we can find out is equal to A into 1 plus I raised to n minus 1 divided by I. So these formulas are slightly modified. These formulas are slightly modified for these cases. So this you can simplify. Or you can write this A. This bracket we can write A by A with some interest rate I and for a period of n. So this A is nothing but annuity 50,000. Now this bracket we can simplify by solving this. You will get 45,762. So this total amount now becomes as a like this. 22,88,100 rupees. So this example is based on the finding future value for a particular given annuity.